OnlyFans disrupted the porn industry in a way that no one saw coming.
Have I ever had an OnlyFans? No, never. Yes, I have an OnlyFans.
I do have an OnlyFans.
I think OnlyFans changed the game entirely.
As you probably remember, in a dramatic turn of events in 2021, the platform proposed a ban on sexually explicit content. And let's just say, the shit hit the fan.
As of October 1st, OnlyFans will prohibit the posting of any content containing sexually explicit conduct to comply with the requests of our banking partners and payout providers. No reason for the request has been given.
The backlash was swift, and tens of thousands of creators felt like once again they were being used as pawns in a larger game of corporate decisions and financial interests.
That was very scary for me. I wasn't sure what was gonna happen.
I think it was within a day I watched my numbers drop in half, which was scary for me and a lot of other models.
Oh fuck, you're kind of back to square one. You're like, I can't do this wasn't right.
It was significant. Like, it became a lot slower. I had to work a lot harder to try to get people to get onto the platform.
I think it was just a big eye-opener that people who are sex workers, who are sharing their bodies and their sex lives on OnlyFans are not valued by this big corporation that takes our money.
The platform reversed course a few days later, and while the ban never took effect, the situation underscored the importance of performers and consumers in the adult industry and the need for platforms to protect them.
It was a little unfair considering that the OnlyFans was built on the backbone of sex workers like myself and a lot of my friends.
This can actually be a career, and it's actually a job, and a lot of people that I know are very professional.
Even today, social stigma continues to fuel misconceptions about sex workers. And if you think that's fucked up, you're not alone. When you were growing up, how did you consume porn?
When I was growing up, I mostly watched porn through Pornhub, Xtube.
I started watching porn as soon as I had access to the internet.
Just a little teenager, you know, sneaking around to the computer when nobody was home.
I liked watching jelking videos.
Predominantly through webcam shows.
Jelking. What is? It's penis enlargement. Stretching the dick. Different techniques on like pushing blood through the penis to hopefully make it bigger.
In less than a decade, we've gone from high-budget studio productions to digital platforms like OnlyFans, where paid subscription, user-generated content allows content creators to really have full control over their work.
I'm putting out the content that I want instead of the content that I'm told to put out.
I started studio porn back when I was 19 years old, and we don't get to keep the content. It's not something that we can use. It's all about making those companies richer.
Before fan platforms, the control was in different hands. So you had studios and possibly agents / managers who were kind of the people pulling the strings, and the models were the commodity.
Porn star Dominic Ford is the creator of Just for Fans, which is OnlyFans' biggest rival.
The porn world has a vast history of companies coming into the porn world to cut their teeth and make money and then leaving. And there's a whole ecosystem of people who work in the industry that were not accounted for in that platform. And I would go to the conferences, the adult conferences, and all the studio owners would be afraid of this disruptive technology of the fan platform because it excluded them. And what I wanted to do was create a platform that everybody who was in this ecosystem had a place and could make money, and therefore would not be afraid of this clear direction that we're going to head regardless of their fears.
Since launching in 2016, OnlyFans has paid out more than $10 billion to content creators.
Yeah, it really changed my life, and it also helped me start other businesses. Like, I bought 16 properties in cash.
OnlyFans has empowered me to be able to go and travel as I wish, not be stuck to what I would normally consider one place, one job for the rest of my life.
Right now I'm an art student, so it pays for like all of the projects that are due and my travel and all of that.
I know that I could wake up tomorrow, trip, fall, and break my dick and never be able to work again. So I treat every single day like it's my last day to work, make money, and make smart investments. I still drive like a 2013 Honda. So
I see more and more people gaining agency, gaining autonomy, and learning how to be millionaire. Now, if you could imagine 6 years ago, that much money coming from this trade would have been impossible. When a studio is paying $600, $800 for a scene, and if you get 10 scenes in a year, you're doing well.
Digital platforms have brought sex work really out of the shadows and into the light. So when OnlyFans proposed a ban of sexually explicit content, creators were afraid that other platforms would follow. They didn't.
Visa and MasterCard have much more stringent regulations on consent and what gets uploaded if you want to be able to process with them. And that all stemmed from the Pornhub fiasco.
More than 30 women are now suing Pornhub's parent company, MindGeek. They accuse it of exploiting them for profit, hosting and promoting graphic videos of rape, revenge, even child porn, all in an effort to drive up revenue.
So what happened with Pornhub is the credit cards and whomever else said to them, you can't keep allowing people to upload content in an anonymous fashion, because that could lead to sex trafficking and minors and all of these things that are awful and nobody wants in the industry. There's a lot of safeguards that we've had in place for 5 years. So if you're a model on Just for Fans, you need to go through a third-party ID verification system. This thing verifies the government official ID. It knows if it's been tampered with, things like this.
As technology continues to reshape the world, online creators have shifted the balance of power in ways they never thought possible.
I also just got into grad school, so that's awesome. And I honestly don't think I would have been able to do that had I not made the career change.
What are some of the misconceptions that people have about OnlyFans creators?
That we are 100% perfect 100% of the time. I am 100% perfect 25% of the time. The other 75% of the time, I'm very tired and working on a computer screen.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions about online sex workers is that it's not a job or that it's easy. There's so many models who, if something happens on Twitter that day and they complain about it, somebody will respond, yeah, well, get a real job. Yeah, these people are working more than you are.
I think a lot of people just think I'm just blowing it on stupid stuff, but I'm making investments and it's actually set me up for my future.
Sex work is the oldest profession in the world and it's not going anywhere.
Back in the day when you're watching porn, it's almost like they weren't people, they were just like this person you watched. You had no idea what their life was like off camera, and now I feel like we're bringing a little bit of humanity back to online sex workers.
Everyone watches porn, but no one ever talks about it. And now it seems that the conversation has actually been opened up.
So the big question is, will we as a society finally legitimize it, or will we continue to use sex workers as pawns? Because as we're on the precipice of change, sex workers have more power now than ever.
I think one of the biggest shockers for me in the last year were people I know who are fan platform models who have now been offered contracts or shoots with studios and have turned them down. And that's a crazy thing to think about, because that was the golden ticket, 5 years ago. I want to be in the studio so badly, but now they're giving up their autonomy and they're giving up their agency and they're giving up their likeness and signing over their rights to somebody else. And that's not what this generation is used to, which is an amazing and very disruptive idea.